All right. There's a topic that's not on here, and that's it's just about Final Fantasy VII being Game of the Year. That's it. That's where we're gonna start at. So
James is already happy with that. All right, go ahead, do it.
I just could smell the biases flying through my computer screen.
all right, what's going on, everybody? Almost in full color panel is back, and now we're actually panels. You see, like it's like 4 of us in panel mode. See, we hope this finds everybody in good health and all that, and that everyone is doing well. Trying to practice social distancing. That's why this podcast looks a little different. And what number are we on? Like 8, 9? Anyone even know?
9, I believe.
I think we're almost to double digits.
Insert number here.
It might be 10.
I like that. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, welcome to the latest podcast from Almost in Full Color. And we're starting off with something that warmed my heart. It really did. And Call of Duty ended up matching their cheaters with other cheaters. Now, Terry, you and I ran into some hackers the other day. How do you feel about this tactic of matching?
Wait, so were you guys cheating?
No,
if they're matching up cheaters with cheaters, then you got in there with some cheaters. Seems like y'all some cheaters.
Nah, so essentially, if you've been, I guess,
reported over that project, they didn't confirm nor deny they cheated.
All right, hold on.
But
like a disclaimer somewhere down here. Yeah, we know we did not cheat. But if you have been reported for cheating and they have actually caught you, essentially they're putting you into your own kind of lobbies. I don't know how real that is. I haven't seen video of anybody happening to anybody. So take it for what it is. I think it's an interesting idea instead of just outright banning them. Because if it's not an IP ban or any other ban, then they're still going to get into a normal game. Unless they have some backward coding for it. But it's stupid. Just ban them and get them out the game. IP ban them so they can't do anything else anymore.
IP bans don't work that well, though.
Okay, console.
Technical
what is it?
strikes.
Back address ban or something?
No, what's the super ban that they can essentially? You have to get a new computer and everything for them to do it.
I don't know what they do then.
There's some. I know they're
going to ban you by a MAC address.
Yeah, I was about to say, but then you
can spoof your Mac though. We used to spoof our Macs back in the old PS3 jailbreak days.
That's what I was saying. That's the only thing I could.
Sweet times.
It's whatever they do to when people are on console get banned, they can do that essentially with a PC.
But I thought you could technically remove the console ban too, because I think they banned those, but there's ways around it. It's just a lot harder. A console, you can just do that, and then most people are just going to buy a new console or something like that.
Yeah, then they buy a new console. Then they have to go back out and spend almost $500 at that point because you got to buy the game again. You got to get a new. So about $600.
You just trade in the ban console, Terry.
I think there's something.
GameStop doesn't know it's banned. You just trade it in; it still works.
Yeah. I hate.
We don't promote cheating or trading in ban console.
I'm be like a robotic version of game saying that somewhere. Like
that was me. I actually switched to my robotic voice.
Interesting. Cheaters suck.
So,
that's all.
Cheaters suck.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm fine with it. That's pretty cool. Like you said, it's probably gonna be hard to figure out like how to permanently ban them anyway. So maybe they won't even recognize that they're being thrown in lobbies with other people that's using whether it's aim bots or however else they're cheating. You may not realize that it's happening. So it's almost like kind of containing them without them knowing. So it stops them from trying to, I guess, get outside of it. Since they're not really privy to the fact they're even being disciplined, I guess, for cheating.
I would like to see a match of that, though. I think that would be like an insane match of like all
super perfect headshots all around.
You see somebody snapping at you from far away.
You gotta get the gameplay, but you also gotta get the audio from each person. Like, this motherfucker's cheating. It's like a whole bunch of cheaters. I can't believe he's fucking cheating. Let me turn my aimbot up. What the fucking cheating bastards. I can't stand these cheaters. It's like, look at them.
And yet they're sitting there
on each other. That'd be hilarious, yo.
Yeah, screw cheaters. They ruined my game earlier today. I had a 12 game almost win, and then I died to an aimbotter, so screw them.
I think he was just better.
You got a point. Yep. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He was better. He got a complete 180 headshot on me. It was amazing. I loved every second of it.
I think Terry's seething down there. Terry's so bad. 180 headshot on me.
It was not fun. It was not fun.
I like it. I think it's different. I've never heard of something like this really, so I think it's actually pretty cool. I don't like the whole ban thing because people just make Smurf accounts and all this stuff. So I think for doing that, I thought it was pretty cool.
Nope, ban them. Get them out of here. You don't need them.
Can't believe Keith just attacked Smurfs like that. Blue people are people too.
I feel like we just need to have a blue person just sitting behind Keith now.
Typing away frivolously on a keyboard. Like it was such bad reviews.
Roger does not find this entertaining.
No, he does not.
Roger's like, why did we do this?
So moving on, I saw that with the success of the Resident Evil 3 remake, Resident Evil 4 remake is now greenlit. When is enough? I guess when is this remake thing going to die out? I suppose is the question, or when is too far? Like Resident Evil 4 is kind of teetering on that too far for me. They remake Resident Evil 5. I don't know. Like that's for me. That's too close to recent history to be. I mean, but they've remade stuff that's like in a much shorter time span. So I don't know.
The whole Kingdom Hearts thing was relatively kind of close. I felt like every generation got a remake and not much happened to them.
But are they really remakes though? I think those
remastered.
Are just,
yeah, I'm about to say those are remastered ones
because the Resident Evil 2 and 3, like they were legit
remakes,
remakes of the game. Well, I mean, it was still, kind of the same story and stuff, but it's like kind of like Final Fantasy 7 got.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it the same level?
Nothing like the original game. Like they brought it completely up to this generation's graphics, I guess.
But did they change around aspects of the game though, outside of graphics?
I'm not sure. I think they might have tweaked it some. Similar to Final Fantasy. But it's still the same game. Like you pretty much know what you're up against. 3, you're still running from Nemesis.
Gotcha. So, I'm about to say, if they did what Final Fantasy 7 is doing, it might be okay. Not the episodic part, but where they completely overhauled everything of the game. Then okay.
Well, they did. You get the 2, you have the controls from 4 and from all the later Resident Evils, the actual good controls. Because 2 had tank controls too back in the day. It wasn't the best controlling game.
You could set it to tank controls, I think, on the
Never do that. I did that with Onimusha, and I was like, "Holy crap! How'd I ever play this?" But it's just not doable anymore.
I think if it's a game that's super popular way back when, then sure. I don't think they need to just keep doing it just to do it though. There has to be some kind of,
because they're getting like damn near game of the year every time they come out. So.
I would say I kind of like the Final Fantasy VII remake. I thought, like we were kind of hinting there, of like that was kind of overhauled. It looked like you were playing a completely new game, just had the story surrounding it. So those aren't bad. True. I did think Resident Evil 2 was pretty good. Even if it was up to graphics, I felt like it was deserved for the time because that was a huge change. Like the game,
2 and 3,
amazing versus the remastered, where it's like, I see they overhauled a little bit, but still, not much.
They just kind of polish things up a little bit, but
so if the remakes like that, I don't think it's bad. They're trying to hit nostalgia, like the remastered boom that we were talking about earlier was. they're just trying to get that quick money like the Kingdom Hearts was doing for a while. But the remakes, I feel like they are putting time in. It's a new game calling back. So you get the nostalgia, but you have something to hold on more. So I kind of like that a little bit more. With your saying like Final Fantasy, I mean not Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 4 being greenlit, is that what you said?
Yeah, 4 got greenlit.
So that, I'm in your boat of I don't know what else they're going to do unless they're going to remake it somehow to make it interesting, because I feel like you are in the remaster territory then.
I mean, 4 was back on like what? It was GameCube, PS2.
Yeah, that's what.
Frame. So I mean, they can definitely make that look.
They can probably have more to work with it. They have more to work with. It seems like
they're using the same engine from 2 that they used for 3. So I'm sure that's cutting down on a lot of the development time, because you already have the story. You already know what's going to happen, and now you already got the graphical engine that you can just kind of plug all this information in and build it out. So,
I have nothing to say about it.
A little different since you're kind of in that cold town and stuff. Doesn't take place in like the old creaky houses. Like, well, I guess 2 didn't. 2 was what, police station. He was kind of in the police station area of Raccoon City.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I don't know. I think remakes are going to become more of a thing for some reason. Don't know why. Like everybody wants to do it, but I guess it is just like the movies. I mean, what is it? The movies still follow the same kind of thing. There's always at least 2 movies coming out that have some sort of the same plot. I
it's
guess
safe to do a remake or a reboot. I mean, you already have a fan base. I mean, Final Fantasy VII, you had probably one of the largest fan bases, so you instantly sold the game before it was even out.
True.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, 2 got received so well it even got almost Game of the Year. So you're definitely going to do 3. 3 got received really well. So I mean, you're just going to keep going. And now since those ones came out and people loved them, like once you say, oh, we're going to do 4, and a lot of people's eyes 4 is one of their favorites because they switched the camera angle to like that over the shoulder view. That was one of the most favorite control schemes for Resident Evil. So I'm sure that one's going to probably outdo both of those. I don't know what 5's going to do if they do 5.
5's going to look like Resident Evil 1.
Well, 5 was like, people really didn't
remember the
remake. They like 5, but they didn't. 5 was a lot more action paced than a normal Resident Evil. Like that shit was like playing like, I don't know, kind of playing like Time Cop or something in the fucking arcade. But it was fun. I loved it. I love being able to play online with somebody else. But
yeah, I think that's the one I played. So that's the only one I remember, at least.
Yeah, like I don't mind a lot of the remakes. Like some of them I appreciate a little bit more. Just like Final Fantasy VII, I guess it was so far back. But like if Power Stone were to be remade right now, or just something, like Crazy Taxi, something like that, like it's like cool for like the one-offs or whatever. But I don't know, just this kind of Resident Evil back to back to back to back thing. I'm just hoping they don't get too crazy, unless their deal is to try to get rid of Resident Evil 6 somehow and write it out. But I hated 6.
Yeah,
I forgot who loved 6. Someone felt like it was Richard, but
it could have been Richard. I don't know. Resident Evils. Maybe they're just trying to make up for all the terrible decisions they made. They finally found something that people love them for. So Capcom's like, just keep pumping out these remakes. Maybe they'll remake Mega Man Legends and the whole world will be whole again.
That's the other crazy part about all this is like of all the games, the ones that people ask for, like you don't give. So Mega Man Legends 1, 2, or just go in and give them a 3. Everyone wants a 3, but Capcom just will not come up off it. I thought
there was a 3. There was a 3. It's technically 3. It's where you play as Tron Bond. You play as the chick and you use the little bonds to like go out and do your dirty work, but it's technically 3, but it's not
Mega Man 3.
Yeah, it's not Mega Man Legends 3, even though it's kind of seen that way. I think only Japan got that one though. I don't think we got that game.
Well, moving on from there, we got the big topic of today. Now, I feel like we all gonna have the same answer to this, but I'll do my best to paint the picture after I explain to the people what it is we're talking about. So, as
Oh no!
The suspense.
No!
What's he going to say?
A few moments later.
all right, everybody. So we got the big topic that's coming, but some of you may not know. So I'll go into that before I paint this picture really quick. So I hope you haven't seen this, but Naughty Dog and Sony had a leaker that leaked out a lot of details about The Last of Us 2. Now they've been kind of scrambling, putting out statements like this person was not affiliated with Naughty Dog or Sony. And I guess people are trying to figure out how they feel about this person leaking the game. Some people think of this person as a hero. Some people are, in my eyes, deservedly upset about this. But before we ask the question, is it right to leak a game or understandable? I'll just paint a brief picture of another dev team's situation and see if that would be a justifiable reason.
No.
So, just recently, we found out that Gearbox gave their dev team a sales goal for Borderlands 3. If they hit this sales goal, they got X amount of money, and from what was said, it was a substantial amount of money, enough to make you work your ass off on a game. So they crushed Borderlands 3. They hit that sales goal, and apparently the CEO just kept all the money and said that they took too long to put the game out and cited a few other tic-tac reasons, really, as to not give them this bonus. Now, if you were dealing with something like that,
he's hearing
something that you feel like is worthwhile. Fuck y'all. It's something worthwhile
saying right now.
Leaking the title.
Hold up, Paul. All right.
We lost Terry.
The content is so smooth too. He's like,
yo. Oh, okay.
all right. Go ahead, Terry.
No, I mean, you should never leak a game. Granted, the CEO is a scumbag for that. I'm pretty sure we can all kind of agree with that one. He's a scumbag for doing that one. But leaking a game makes it worse for everybody else. Like, you can understand why the dev was probably pissed. I mean, I would be too. But leaking the game kind of makes it worse because, one, they probably signed an NDA. So once they broke that, they're probably getting sued right now. So that makes it even worse for them. On top of them getting fired already. So it just doesn't play out well. Yeah, and I hate the Naughty Dog dev, by the way. I saw the leaks for Last of Us 2, and I'm not happy.
So you went out there and looked
supposedly he does not work for Naughty Dog any longer. Well, supposedly this person
never worked
for Naughty Dog nor Sony Entertainment. And yeah, so this person was basically excommunicated.
Like, so pretty much they're trying to act like he's not a credible for the game.
Yeah.
If they just publicly sued him, then you would know everything he leaked was credible. So I guess they're trying to play the role of none of that stuff's real. We don't even know who this guy is. Like,
I hope not, because them screenshots were.
Oh, it's probably the exact game, but you know,
the screenshots look amazing.
It's not much you can do to pull it back at this point. Like, it's out there.
Internet has it now.
It still sucks.
Yeah, you can sue him, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, what are you gonna get out of this guy? Nothing compared to, I guess, whatever damages you think you might suffer from it being leaked early. I doubt any. I don't think anyone who's seen it early is gonna be like, "Damn, now I'm not gonna buy the game."
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean,
kind of upset that it kind of spoiled a little more for you than maybe what you wanted. But I mean, you're gonna buy it. I mean, it's not like the company did it.
Nah,
they didn't purposely spoil the game for you. Somebody else did.
Yeah, it still sucks though, because I mean, the only way I saw it is because I saw Last of Us 2 trending on Twitter. So I was like, oh, I wonder why this is happening. Yeah, I clicked on the hashtag. It was a mistake. And that probably explains why they pushed back moved their date back to whatever it was before, because it was supposed to be this month, right? Is the release?
Yeah, originally it was supposed to come out in February, then it got pushed back to May, then it got pushed back indefinitely. Now it comes out in June.
Yeah, wow. So that the leaker is probably the reason why it's now being released. I guess we should say yay to that. So now we can actually play the game, but Outside of that, yeah, I don't know. I don't like leaks. They suck.
Yeah, I mean, I know one. Yeah, the guy shouldn't have leaked the game. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he signed an NDA. Once you sign that, like, you really have no grounds to leak it. I mean, and at least not leaking it to the point that you think that you're not going to be legally punished for doing so. I mean, that's how that works. But for that CEO that didn't pay out the bonus money to the devs for Borderlands for hitting the marks, it'd be funny to see like what kind of agreement that was, because I'm sure that agreement was probably laced with a bunch of those like little knick-knack fine text, like if this happens, this happens, this happens, any of these happen, like it voids the bonus or could potentially void the bonus, like up to our discretion type thing. Gives you like a very vague and general overview of it, to where it kind of leaves a lot of power in the deciding person's hands, which in this case is the CEO. So yeah, it still makes it a dirty move, because they did still hit all the marks, even though it was late. But it's like they still hit what you wanted them to do, which I'm sure they made a ton of money off. They're not just going to give you money unless they got a whole lot of money. So
that'll play out in the long run, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people got frustrated where they'll probably end up losing employees if it was that big of a bonus and that big of a deal, because it's going to be hard to work for a company at that point that's like, well, you made a promise and took it away.
Yeah, it definitely will hurt the credibility down the line, even if they lost those people. Like, I mean, those people are going to talk. Like, I'm sure a lot of game developers it's kind of like a big circle. You know, even if you don't work for the same companies, I'm sure you interact with other devs from other companies, and that story is going to get around that we were promised X amount of money and they screwed us because of like this small thing. That other developers will look at and be like, yeah, that's kind of par for the course in game development. Like, so for them to hold that against you, like, yeah, that's pretty dirty. Like, I wouldn't work for that company type thing. So I could see that hurting them down the road.
Do y'all feel like as gamers we owe it to developers to aid them in their fights in terms of situations like this, or their crunch culture of
their whole working environment sucks.
Or that's their working environment? They knew what they were getting into. So for us as the gamer, we necessarily don't owe it to them, because we'd hope they were eyes wide open when they walked into that world. Or do we owe it to them in some capacity?
I mean, yeah, it is definitely. I would say we particularly don't owe it to them, because we're not the one who sets those deadlines. So we're not the ones who are making it a crunch culture. Like, yeah, obviously we always want the games as fast as possible. But at the end of the day, everybody understands, like, you know, you're not getting 3 Assassin's Creeds in 1 year. You're not, you know, no matter how much you may want it, like at the end of the day, you understand it's a process. It takes at times, you know, 3, 4, 5 years for you to get the next edition of that game or the next sequel to the game you just beat. But it's the companies that's really making it the crunch environment. So they're the ones placing all the deadlines. That it's not just the deadline of the game has to be out. I'm sure they have, you know, a multitude of smaller deadlines they have to hit. Like, you know, alpha build should be functional by this date. You know, we should have X amount of the game done by this date. So many different, you know, objects should be placed in the game. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of milestones, since the whole thing would be viewed as a project. You have a bunch of milestones you need to hit. And, you know, I'm sure that there's not a lot of lead time given. Like, if they say it could be done in like 12 days, they're probably giving you like 12 and a half days. And that half day is in case somebody dropped dead on the job and they needed to pull somebody off the street. And it only takes half a day to do that. So that's
it always makes me wonder.
I mean,
like,
they pretty much make you sleep there. So it's like, I mean, Roger was talking about it, that they pretty much let
2K.
you live above the studio.
Yeah. 2K,
you know, and they do everything for you. Yeah. So
it makes me wonder, like, we haven't really heard, and I'll put this in quotation marks, anything out of like Activision whenever they're forcing out the Call of Duties like every single year. Granted, I think before they picked up their third developer, they were doing it every other year, which was crazy. and then they moved it to where they were doing it every 3 years, which seems like it's fine. But now they're back to that every year thing, and it's still kind of it's like crazy. We haven't heard Activision or any Activision employees come out and be like, "Oh, they're making us do this. We're taking forever."
Must be getting paid pretty well.
There must be.
That have a bigger team.
And I would
Yeah,
say
or they could have a bigger team.
I will say they do have like multiple developers underneath them, but it's just like we just never hear anything from them. So I'm kind of curious on how their calling it culture is. It's like, they're
could be part of the NDAs you sign that you can't go out and publicly smear the company, and that's a smear tactic against a company by accusing them of slave-like labor or something like that. So that could be part of it to why nobody comes out, because you're probably going to end up paying the brunt of that unless you get everybody to come out, and that's pretty difficult.
Oh yeah, I would say that's probably impossible in most, but it's just like it's just kind of crazy how we hear from company to company. Gearbox was one, Epic was another. I think there was one more that had the same kind of issues, but you have Activision and nobody's heard from them at all. So I'm kind of curious on it, but because they're the biggest crunch time developers you can ever think of, or publishers that have developers underneath them you can think of. So unless they just have a lot of developers for each game,
they have a decent amount. And I know the problem now is even release day isn't a break because you have a lot of server fixes and all. Like release day is like probably one of the most stressful now for like a couple weeks before it calms down, because you always have the problem of what's it called? Dude, it used to be like the first day you don't even try to get online. It used to be for a while because it was everyone.
On the game,
yeah. So
on the game, you might not even log in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting that even now we still have that kind of issue with servers. Like day one, don't even attempt it for the first, I don't know, maybe 4 hours or so, or you're gonna just get kicked offline. There's just no point.
A lot of traffic.
It's still crazy.
I guess they feel like it's not financially responsible for them to obviously day one is going to be the heaviest day, but then I'm sure they probably look at it and through historical reports and all of us releasing our games, if we look at it historically, day one, maybe the first few days are super high traffic days, but then it drops by 25%, the following week. And we might as well just shoot for that to be our stable, make sure we have the resources to keep that percentage stable instead of overspending, because you never get back to that peak again. Once it drops off, we never jump back up. We've never jumped back up. So I'm not going to overspend on a resource aspect just to mitigate some early complications for our end users who, obviously it's a bad way to look at it, but you're kind of indoctrinated in order to you're kind of indoctrinated to accept it. We all expect that when new stuff comes out, new big, highly anticipated games, we're like, bro, we're not going to get in the game. You already think it, you already say it. So it's you don't like it, but no one's ever said, man, I'm not buying that game because they won't fix, they won't let you play the first day.
And that 25% is probably a lot of savings, especially now with AWS fees. It's just we don't even have to pay it. That way we still sell the game and everything's fine.
Yeah.
No, I want my servers up day one because it just reminds me of Destiny 1, Rise of Iron, how we were all up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Super long queues.
And we couldn't even get in the game. I want my servers up day one.
That jump was an instant. Everybody just was like, hey, I'm about to go ahead and go to sleep.
I think Duncan, myself, Keith, and B are the only people that stayed up that entire time.
Yeah,
that was it.
It was a rough night.
You ever
heard?
Then
even if you get in, you can get kicked because the experience is so not really choppy, but you could tell it's right there at the limit. Any false move in the game world can get you removed.
Nope. I was so mad.
He pushed the start button 3 times in a row. Get someone in there who wants to play.
So we're all excited for a lot of games that are coming out. I know we're all super excited for the Fast and the Furious Crossroads, but outside of that, what are we really looking forward to?
You just said it.
Yeah.
You said the one game. What else are we going to talk about? That was the quickest topic ever.
Which still doesn't have a date in May yet, sadly.
Because it's so great that it just comes out, Roger.
Yeah.
It's just a trailer.
It's like a Beyonce CD. We don't need to tell you it's coming out. It just drops.
Games are just going to drop
You
now.
adapt your life to it. That's how great it is.
Oh,
Games has switched to the music model, huh?
Yeah. That's how big Fast and Furious is.
Oh my gosh, games are excited.
He's got the rock removed from the new one, so.
My game actually already came out. Well, I put it out in quotation marks. Came out. Mine was Valorant. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, this is actually a shooter that looks like it could be fun. I've never played CS:GO, and it kind of had like the Overwatch feel to it for me. And I liked Overwatch, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It took me about 2 days to actually get into the beta, but I mean, I was playing it a lot. I haven't played much recently, but it's still a game that I still kind of delve into anyways. But that was kind of like the game. When I heard it was announced, I was like, I want in on this. So that was my game I was excited for.
Roger?
I still want to play Ghost of Tsushima. This game still looks pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
There's that, and then the other game I'm waiting for that doesn't have a date yet for there is Fuser. I like the Rock Band games a lot back in the day, and this is made by Harmonix, and it's based off the Drop Mix. Yeah, the board game. It's similar style of that, and I like the DJ setup, so I think that game's gonna be fun.
That sounds pretty cool. What you call it? Speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, I'm kind of wondering what the hell is going to be the PS5 launch titles now.
That was actually on my list. Was the
slated to be launch titles? Like they're like, nope. Like Cyberpunk. I thought Cyberpunk would be one, and then it's like, nope, it's coming out for PS4.
I'm waiting for that list when they announce the new games. I think because Halo is probably going to be somewhere on the Xbox, so that's going to be.
And it's weird.
Halo is.
Halo 5 is definitely
going to be a launch title.
But I don't know
what PS4 has.
I don't know.
Or PlayStation 5. I'm sorry, PlayStation 5 is what I meant.
Like a lot of the games, I thought, like I said, Cyberpunk is literally coming out like 1 or 2 months before the PS5.
Yeah,
so
that'll be interesting.
It's weird they didn't just kind of like wait until the PS5 came. Maybe they'll launch on both titles. I mean, on both consoles.
They're supposed to, I think. If you actually, I went to the Assassin's Creed page to see if I was going to get it, and that actually has both platforms on there to pre-order it for. So.
Maybe they might do it to where it's only like an upgrade fee. If you get it on the 4, maybe you pay like $15-$20 or something, and you get the next gen copy as well.
No, that's
Cyberpunk probably won't do that.
No, somebody did that.
They're seeming to be going on the fact if you buy it on one thing, you pretty much can play it on everything. So we'll see how close that holds up if they put it out on the 4 and 5.
That's something they agree with Xbox. They haven't said if they're doing it for Sony yet. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they've.
That's a Microsoft program.
Yeah, that's Microsoft that's doing it. But I haven't heard if Sony's gonna. Sony probably won't. I mean, we've seen historically on what they've done with all their other games. They're like, oh, you bought it on PS4. How about you drop another $60 on the PS5 now?
I think you got some kind of a discount on GTA 5 though. When 5 was on the 3, and then it came up to the 4.
I think it might have just been cheaper in general. I don't think it was a special discount because I bought it. I remember.
Just because it was older.
Yeah, because they just marketed.
I know they polished it a little bit, but I guess for games I'm looking forward to will be obviously Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition. That's supposed to come out. I think it's the 30th of this month, 30th of May. So that Last of Us 2. Which I guess comes out sometime in June now. And so far, that's it. I mean, anything that's like right here on the horizon. I did like Bravely Default a lot, but that has no date, so I don't know when that's coming out.
That doesn't have a date yet. I would have said that one, but I don't know when it is.
And it said before the end of 2020, so I assume we'll get it holiday time frame. I don't know. So
I think the DS version got pushed back because of stuff too. So this one might end up being the same. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The DS version. Wow.
Yeah,
that's where the game came from.
Yeah, I know. I was just shocked they still were putting it out for there. That's cool.
That was 3 years ago. 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago is when they put out the Bravely Default for 3DS.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, it's probably going to be Last of Us 2 because I hate Vikings, so I'm not getting Assassin's Creed.
He's gonna get it.
So much.
He's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it.
Yep.
You're not
He's
gonna get the
definitely
statue, but you'll get the game.
He's gonna
I
get it.
don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough. I want
We're
Japan. That's what I want.
We're gonna get a picture.
Japanese Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I want a
Chinese
katana
Assassin's Creed.
and a damn.
He said Japanese,
Huh?
Raj.
I know. I said there's Chinese Assassin's Creed.
No, Keith's gonna get the box in the mail. He's gonna send us a picture of it, and then we're gonna be like, "Huh, remember that video?" And we'll
Nah,
just
I'm not
have it
getting
somewhere.
that one. I'm not getting that one.
He says that now. Watch, it's gonna happen, and we'll post it somewhere for everybody else to see.
But I'm also waiting for Lost Soul Aside because it's like 6 dudes working on that game, and I really want to see what a six person working on a game kind of looks like with that. It looks really good. That's all.
What's it called?
It looks Lost Soul Aside.
What's
Lost
it for?
Soul Aside.
It's supposed to drop on the PS4. Sony like bought out that. Well, they bought. That sounds terrible. It was only one dude making the game originally. Like he did everything, and then they saw a dude, so they paid him money for his services, and he now creates that game for them.
With Little Big Planet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
Little
then
Big
the game
Planet
was like a floppy disk or some shit.
Yeah, it was super small. It was only like a couple people with like just the concept of how the game would function, and somehow got it to Sony, and Sony was like, "Do it." Next thing you know, now they're a huge company. But what kind of game is it? Like, is it RPG? What kind of genre is it?
No, it's an RPG, but it's in the. It kind of looks like it plays like the Final Fantasy VII, but more combo-y.
Oh no, yeah. The description of it says the Final Fantasy 15 inspired action RPG. This is interesting. Oh, I actually might have to look into this. This looks interesting.
Lost Soul Aside.
Yeah, it says it's inspired by Final Fantasy 15. So, yeah, all right.
Instead of the main character named Cloud, it's Nimbus. Circulum.
Well, it makes you feel better. The guy has a huge ass sword.
See?
Yeah.
He has a sword. He has a huge ass sword. So I mean, they're moving towards it. They're moving towards it.
Maybe it's like that one game that's a ripoff of Breath of the Wild, but it's inspired by Breath of the Wild. What is that game? I haven't even heard anything.
I forgot what it's called.
Hold on. We looking. Inspired.
It was supposed to hit PlayStation.
Yeah. Damn.
And it was like, oh my god, it was so
rip off.
Yeah. It was
like, I'm shocked they haven't got sued by Nintendo and like buried.
I wonder if they got a cease and desist and they just stopped making the game.
The first thing that pops up is Adventures of Mana.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was called.
Nah,
I can't remember. I would have to say, then I could tell you.
I don't know. I can't show my screen.
Why not? You can share your screen. It's down in the corner. We'll got some film on that screen. I can't share my screen.
I don't know. I can't find like an actual like
mouse over that button for fear it might click. Booty-tastic 1277. God damn, that's a lot of videos. 1277.
Oh my god. I'm trying to find the title. Go to the next one, Keith.
Oh, that was the final thing, but now
you didn't want
all of our
I thought you wanted to talk about Final Fantasy.
I thought he was. No, that's gonna be a separate video. I think that's a separate video. Yeah, that's a video for you and Keith and Gaines to do.
But now is the recommended game. Now that people
recommended game.
Decay of Logos.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's the only thing that shows up. Decay of Logos.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
All right.
All right. Does anyone have a game to recommend the peoples, old or new?
I got you. Get Packed. Is that what it was called? Get Packed on Stadia?
Yeah.
Yes. There you go. If you got Stadia,
Keith's face.
Get Packed on Stadia. Go play it.
Terry, Keith.
That was our shock. Was Terry mentioned a Stadia game? It wasn't the game itself.
Fun.
It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
And you don't even need Stadia. You can buy it on the browser and play. Don't
There
forget,
you go.
Stadia's free.
You play
Yeah.
for absolutely free. Free.
Well, you have to buy the game.
But nah, it is
Well,
fun though.
yeah.
It was a fun little game.
It's $20. Mouse
20.
and keyboard sucks for it though. So if you can
Yeah.
get a controller, because your life will be so much better.
Yeah, it's not a
But,
mouse and
yes.
keyboard game.
No, it's not. I tried. I was yelling at games for about a good 20 minutes before I figured out what the hell I was doing, and he couldn't help me. He just
Yeah,
sat there and
I
just
mouse
kept packing stuff into a Jeep or truck. There it was.
Yeah.
Cheap.
I forgot we were moving a Jeep, and then I thought of the Jeep first, and I was like, oh wait, there was a truck. So yeah, get packed, Stadia, get it. There you go, $20.
Roger.
So what I've been playing is another racing game. The last time I recommended a racing game, I've been playing Crew 2 for some reason. It's a fun game. If you never played either Crew 1 or Crew 2, you can get those. They're fun. They do a whole quote-unquote US map for the game where they just highlight major things. It takes like no time to go from DC to Florida. Like it skips North Carolina, all that. Just throw all that out the window. You're just like in Florida. But it's fun. There's a lot of stuff to do. It's arcadey style. It's enjoyable.
I wonder if I have it.
I think you have
Wonder if
Crew
I have
1,
that.
probably. That was free like last year.
Oh, never mind then. I don't have Crew 2. I was thinking about. I was like, man, I might actually have to hop on and play.
It's pretty fun.
But never
Wait,
mind.
what is that on? What are you playing on, Roger?
PC.
PC?
It's on all
Oh,
the
okay.
consoles and all too.
I seen it came out on Stadia. That's why the only reason I asked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not free on Stadia, but I didn't know what you.
I think
were
it's a
playing
little high
so.
on Stadia if I remember correctly,
It
but
is.
it's
Oh,
I
an
think
older
it's-
game.
It's
But-
retail
Yeah.
price on Stadia.
It's fun.
Yep.
Games onto you.
On to me. What game will I recommend to the people? Honestly, I'm trying to think. Like what? I mean, obviously Final Fantasy VII, but it's kind of hard to recommend that because
If you got it, you got it. If you
I
don't,
know everyone
kinda
has
don't want to.
like no one's still waiting on that game. But
What you played
trying to
last,
think.
maybe? That
whatever. That's what I played last though. I was playing that.
I would say, wasn't it? No, that's an older game. Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the HD collection. It's an older game, but
That's older. Gotta get some different games.
I don't know.
Something
Come
older,
back to
maybe
me.
something
You go,
no
Keith.
one's checked out before.
Oh, we're just gonna skip
Well-
games for now to Keith.
Yeah, go to Keith. I'll be back.
Well, for me, let's see. I actually want to recommend something that's going to take a little bit up of your time. Some of you may have time. This game actually is terrible in the free version, but please feel free to go ahead and download DC Universe Online and have a blast.
Wow.
I mean, if you have time on your hands, that's a game that you could just lose all of your time in.
Yeah, you
Free
can.
version does suck. I will
Hold
tell
on.
you this.
Are you playing DC again?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
I thought about it. Like the thought crossed my mind.
Zoe
It
got on
really
it.
did.
Side
It was
note.
either
Zoe
between
got
that
it.
or
Zoe
Final
preferred
Fantasy
that.
11 or Final Fantasy 14. I was picking one of the two, but I decided to dial back.
Zoe played the game for a day and he hasn't
He
been back
put money
on
in it.
since.
He'll play again. I'm gonna tell him to Keith mentioned it.
All right, games. We're back to you now.
Back to me. You know what?
Oh, he's got
I'll piggyback off Keith. The game to lose pretty much your soul to. Animal Crossing, New Horizons for the Switch. It's another game. Yeah, I forgot. I put quite a bit of time into that game. Ever since Final Fantasy came out, that pulled me away. Thank God it broke me out of the monotony of chopping trees and picking weeds.
Your island's a mess
But-
now.
Oh, it's probably
I'm curious to know
overgrown.
what it
Yeah.
looks like.
It's probably crack fiends just scurrying around.
Your poor villagers.
It's just a Nintendo game. You
But it's-
sure?
Yeah, it's on Switch.
But it's
Yeah, it's
Animal
on the
Crossing,
Switch.
so they're probably like very cutely drawn crackheads. So they're not really aggressive looking. You're like,
Oh,
oh,
that's
I'm
the-
so happy.
You have a raccoon that's forcing you to stay in
Tom
debt all
Duck.
your life.
It's
So.
evil.
I didn't know where Terry was going with that. Forcing you to do things for the crack.
Yes. That's
I
exactly
didn't
what
know.
I was going for.
Nook has bumped it up a notch. But yeah, that's actually a really great game to pass time, and especially since it's on the Switch. I mean, you're not stuck to a stuck to a TV or being docked. Like obviously a lot of people are stuck in the house right now doing the stay safe, stay home thing. So you may not have enough televisions for everyone to be able to watch things on their own without sometimes kind of getting that shoulder tap. Like, hey, you're playing a game too long. Like, I'm trying to watch something. At least with the Switch, you could just undock and you won't skip a beat. You can keep on paying Tom Nook money until you die. But that's my game.
Yeah, he finally saw the ways of Tom Nook. It took a while.
I still think he's a great guy. I don't know why you keep saying that, Roger.
He gives you no interest loans to people who cannot pay it off.
And you can pay it off at any point in time, Roger. He's not going to hassle you for it. He's just going to be like, hey, you just owe me money.
Yeah. He just reminds you you're in debt.
That's it.
A lot.
I didn't say it was that. I didn't say it was terrible. I just said, you just don't got to worry about it.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I personally do not endorse paying or giving people loans that they can't pay on, but that's my co-host over there, Terry.
Will we technically be the co-host?
I don't know about that, actually.
I think he's the host.
I think Keith just put himself ahead of us, I think. That's what happened.
I don't know. I'm very curious. Send us off, Keith.
God damn it. Now I had to think.
Sing us off, Keith. Sing us off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope this finds you in great health. And if it hasn't found you in great health, we hope that you recover very soon. All right.
And to keep your health up.
I promise next time that, earpods won't fall out of my ear as much as they did this time. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is
Wish.com earpods.